Welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right. Week 4 of the NFL season is in the books, and Sunday night we had ourselves a shootout between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, going into this game, both of these offenses had questions for them. For one, with the Buccaneers, they have only had 3 total touchdowns all season long, and yet they are still 2-1, but they would be undefeated if Brady had his receivers last week, but he had nobody, and that's what ended up being the score of 14-12 with Green Bay coming out on top. But even with that, with the receivers that Brady has of Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, how is there only 3 touchdowns for them in 3 games? Like, what? Now, with the Chiefs, they're trying to make up for how they played last week against the Indianapolis Colts, losing 20-17. And the biggest question was, is this offense the same kind of offense with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, but there is no Tyreek Hill? How is that going to pan out against one of the best defenses in the NFL? Well, as soon as the game started, those questions about any of the offenses were completely put to sleep, especially for the Chiefs, because they put on a clinic against the Buccaneers, putting up 41 points and beating them 41-31. The Chiefs started out strong in this game. Started out with a 21-3 lead at the beginning of the second quarter, and then at halftime, or right before halftime in that second quarter, Brady was able to bring the Bucs back within a good lead, within a good margin, and right before halftime, they were able to make it 28-17 going into halftime at the end of the first half. But now, with Brady finally getting his receivers back, we're seeing touchdowns, we're seeing the ball moving. It's the old Buccaneers that we've seen. They just needed a little time to get into rhythm, and that's what happened this game, because Brady threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Buccaneers offense scored a total of 4 touchdowns and en route to 31 points. Now, it's hard to stop that Chiefs offense, even when you got a top-end defense, because Andy Reid just knows how to slip in and out of every single defense with the way he knows how to make plays and do trick plays. It's just unreal what Andy Reid can do. But other than that, this is how crazy this game was, and how both these offenses might have just gotten into rhythm just in this game, because with the Chiefs, without Tyreek Hill going against one of the best defenses, they're hoping to see if they can even run the ball or even push the ball on a consistent basis, and they are scoring every single drive, especially in the run column, because the Buccaneers are known as the one of the, if not the best run-stopping defense over the last few years, and Kansas City ran all over them, totaling 189 rush yards with 92 for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 63 for Isaiah Pacheco, and 34 for Patrick Mahomes. Now, with Patrick Mahomes, for how ridiculous he is with his arm, his new first name cannot be Patrick anymore. It needs to be Magic. Like, what we saw, like, if whoever saw Magic back in the 80s and 90s with how he was in passing the ball on the court, Patrick Mahomes is doing this with a football. Like, Patrick Mahomes' new nickname is Magic Mahomes. I'm not calling him Patrick Mahomes anymore. It is now Magic Mahomes, and because of that magic, he was able to make ridiculous flip passes for a touchdown to Clyde Edwards-Helaire and barely escape a sack throwing a ball to Juju Smith-Schuster, which were his 2 best pass plays, and most insane passing plays out of the entire game. And because of how ridiculous Mahomes is with that, he was able to torch that Tampa Bay defense. But what's really torture is we are saying goodbye to one of the greatest baseball legends of all time, and that's Albert Pujols. The 2022 MLB season is coming, regular season is coming to a close with 2 to 3 games left in the regular season, and Albert Pujols, he finally hit the 700 home run mark and has become the 4th player in MLB history to hit 700 home runs in his career, and now has 703. And it's absolutely poetry in motion watching Albert Pujols wrap up his career, and is actually doing it at an all-star level too, because over Albert Pujols' last 8 games, he has hit 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, he's got 8 hits, and has scored 10 times. Like, he is just that good of a baseball player. And last night, he actually just became the second highest RBI hitter in all of baseball history. He was tied with Babe Ruth at 2,214 a couple of days ago, and last night he hit a home run and took the lead for second place all time on the RBIs list at 2,216. It is just absolutely amazing for how well Albert Pujols has been throughout his career. He has just been on a level that we have never seen before, and the way he's been able to keep it consistent, which is even harder in any type of sports career, and Albert Pujols did it at an all-star level his entire career. Now, if he did get injured and that MLB season in 2020 wasn't shortened, I do believe he would be past Babe Ruth for the 3rd most home runs of all time. But 4th place is fine, because 700 is 700, and that's a ridiculous number to get to just in general. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals are heading into the playoffs as the 3rd seed in the National League. When the season ends, they are either going to be playing the Padres or the Phillies, because those two are battling it out right now for that 6th seed, because they're 1 game, because the Phillies are 1 game behind the Padres right now. And because of the Cardinals being in the playoffs, can Albert Pujols show us a Cinderella run? How far can he take his Cardinals team? How well is he going to do in that playoff run too? Can we get a Cinderella run? And can we see him go out with a trophy? I mean, it's going to be hard to do, but it'd be awesome if he did it. But it's going to be hard to beat the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers, and the Astros, because those guys have all hit over 100 wins, and those teams are the teams to beat to get to that World Series. Or just win the World Series. So, can Albert Pujols show us a Cinderella run? I hope he does. Now, what has been a Cinderella run but not completed yet is Aaron Judge's home run year. He's 1 home run away from having the American League home run record at 62. And Judge has been unbelievable this season. He has had a season for the ages. He is up for the MVP. He could potentially get the Triple Crown, and he's inches away from getting that Triple Crown. But Luis Arias has a batting average of 316, and Aaron Judge has 311. Will he get it? I don't think he will. He has 3 games left to go. I don't think he is going to get it, because he has to go up 0.5 to be able to get that. But with the home run record, he has 1 home run left to hit. He has 61 right now, and he hit his 61st against Toronto. Will he get that 61? It's 50-50 right now because of 3 games being left, and how he's been performing over the last 10 to 12 games. It's so 50-50 because over those last 12 games, Aaron Judge has only hit 1 home run. The last time he hit a home run was against the Pirates, and he hasn't hit one since. I get it, because this movement's huge for Aaron Judge, because this is actually the home run record, because between Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds, they got their home runs with steroids, but Aaron Judge is about to hit 62 naturally. So that's what's going to give him MVP, but I don't think that Aaron Judge should be MVP because it should be Ohtani. Ohtani is revolutionizing baseball right now. This dude has 30 home runs in a season while having 10 wins at a pitcher. He's putting up elite pitching numbers and to a point, elite batting numbers, and this dude has been just unbelievable. Ohtani is easily the best player in baseball right now, and I think he should be the one getting the MVP and not Judge, because in my opinion, Aaron Judge would have to get 90 or more home runs or 160 RBIs or more. Either one of those, he would have to get one of those in a single season, just in my opinion, just to outperform Ohtani, because Ohtani is technically almost unfair at this point to what he's doing, because we can just give him, if he keeps up these numbers, we can give him the MVP every single year, in which he deserves it. But sports, they like to split it up, and they don't. They always go after what's the coolest story. The coolest story right now is Aaron Judge. Ohtani's cool story of what he's doing this year, that was last year. But unfortunately, it's always about the storyline. It's almost never about numbers, to a point sometimes. But that's just what it is in baseball. But Judge is going to get the MVP because he's the third person ever in MLB history to hit 60 home runs naturally. The other 2 are actually, they're the 4th person, because the other 3 are Lou Gehrig, Roger Maris, and Babe Ruth. They've all hit home runs. And what's funny is, it's all been Yankees. Yankees, they just know how to get talent, and they just know how to stay dominant year after year. But 3 games left for Aaron Judge, and he's got to play Detroit. He's got a doubleheader today at 2 o'clock, and he's got a game tomorrow against Detroit as well. And tomorrow is the last game of the season. Will he get it? It's a 50-50 shot, but I do think he's going to get it. I think it's going to be tomorrow. I think it's going to be like a last moment kind of thing, just to make it, just to have it as a insane moment, because that's what it could be. I think it's going to be tomorrow against Detroit. Aaron Judge has the record, and he is the MVP. Alright, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media, and please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever.